Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video on the Gooners and Gloves Podcast channel. In today's video, it's going to be the 96th Gooners and Gloves Podcast, and I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and reactions to Arsenal's friendly versus AC Milan in Singapore. This took place a few hours ago, so I thought I'd go on and just give you guys my thoughts on the game. Obviously, it's really nice to have Arsenal back playing football. It was really cool to finally see them playing again because obviously, they haven't played in, I think, pretty much exactly 2 months. I think May 25th was the last time they played any football, so it was really nice to see them playing some football, to see some action, and ultimately just get to see the players in action. So as always, I'm just gonna go on and give you guys my thoughts and reactions to the game. Obviously, it's nice to be back doing this, and I'm really happy to be back with the Arsenal match reactions, and of course there will be loads of these in the upcoming season. And this is where it all started off. Obviously, friendly games, end of the day, just help to give a good indication of sort of the squad's readiness, how everyone's doing, kind of increase the players' fitness levels ahead of the new season. So ultimately, this is where it all starts off. So Arsenal played AC Milan in Singapore. I was actually at work during this game, so I just listened to the game and watched it a bit while working. So it was really cool. It was definitely cool to kind of just watch the game while I was working, make a note of some of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. But I'm back home from work now, so just going ahead and filming this podcast for you guys, and then of course give you guys my thoughts. So pretty much let's go on and get straight into it. So the result is Arsenal won 1-0. So obviously we can't really complain. End of the day, it's a win. It's a clean sheet against a pretty decent AC Milan side. So it's nice that we were able to get the victory. Unfortunately, we did lose the penalty shootout, but ultimately, these are penalties, these penalty shootouts are just for practice. At the end of the day, they're just taken, regardless of the result, we do the penalty shootouts anyway. Of course, I'd have liked if Arsenal could have won the penalty shootout, but ultimately the game's more important, and I'm just glad that we were able to win the game, and hopefully that, that penalty shootout will act as a bit of a learning curve. And to be fair, Kepa was absolutely ridiculous in that shootout, making some crazy saves. But anyway, let's go on and go through the actual game now. So got a few specific things I want to talk about. So first of all, of course, it was absolutely amazing to see some of the new signings debuting. We got to see Norgard, Kepa and Zubimendi all play for Arsenal. Norgard actually started the game, which was definitely quite cool. It was nice to see him get a start, and to be fair, I think he struggled initially. I will say probably for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of the game, he found it a bit more difficult, but to be fair, after that, I think he actually grew into the game really well. I think genuinely started doing a really good job after that, creating some chances, linking up play, and all in all, I think he's going to turn out to be a solid signing. Honestly, I thought he had a solid performance today. Started off a bit slower, kind of, it was a bit mixed, and he kind of found it a bit difficult, but to be fair, I think as the first half went on, he really grew into the game, and in my opinion, in the last sort of 20 minutes and a half, he was very solid, created some chances, really good defending, linking up play, and I just thought he was solid. Honestly, really solid performance. Very nearly got his first assist for Arsenal, had that absolutely ridiculous half volley gone in from Ethan Ranieri. Seriously, I still can't believe how flipping good that half volley was. It was ridiculous. The fact that he even took that on and hits it so perfectly, it was phenomenal. So had that gone in, which it very nearly did, it would have been Norgard's first assist as well. So there's also that. Obviously, we'll speak about Ethan Ranieri in a little bit because he was absolutely fantastic, so we'll speak about him soon. But yeah, so all in all, a very solid first 45 minutes from Norgard. Obviously, he's only played 45 minutes, so end of the day, we can't judge it too much yet. However, I thought he was solid, honestly. Definitely solid, started off a bit more difficult, but in my opinion really grew into the game, and we really got to see his quality. He's actually quite fast, considering that he's only, considering that he is in his 30s. I know he's not like super old, but he's in his early 30s. He's definitely getting up there in footballing age, so the fact that he's still as quick as he is and as as sharp as he is really good to see. And all in all, I think he'll turn out to be a solid signing in my opinion, so really happy with him. I thought he had a decent, a very decent debut, and yeah, I think he'll go on to be a really good signing. He did quite well with Rice. I think him and Rice played in a double pivot quite nicely, and all in all, yeah, I think Norgard had a good debut. Then in the second half, both Kepa Arrizabalaga and Martin Zubimendi came on. Kepa, to be fair to him, in terms of Kepa, he really didn't have much to do in the actual game itself, because by that point Arsenal were taking control of the game. The defense was absolutely excellent today. I was really impressed with the defense was top. In the end, AC Milan only had 3 shots total and only 1 shot on target, so obviously the Arsenal defense was excellent, and compared to the Arsenal attack, that was, Arsenal were able to get 23 shots and 9 shots on target, loads more possession, etc. So it was really good attacking, free-flowing football, and the defending was excellent, giving away only 3 shots in total and only 1 on target. So in terms of the game itself, Kepa really didn't have much to do, but as I mentioned before, in the penalty shootout, he made some ridiculous saves, really genuinely good saves. Unfortunately, Arsenal still did go on to lose the penalty shootout, but it's very encouraging to see that Kepa can save penalties and do so solidly, because of course, as we know, even if he is a second choice, he's still still going to be getting FA Cup games, Carabao Cup games, some Champions League games, etc. So ultimately, we're still going to need him to be able to save penalties, not to mention if he's ever covering for Raya. So ultimately, it's good to see that he's, got the penalty saving on deck, and hopefully him and Raya can, help each other with that, because to be fair with Raya, like, he's been okay at penalties at some points, but he's definitely also been quite poor at penalties at other points. So hopefully that's something he can get from Kepa Arrizabalaga, because to be fair, Kepa was good in the penalty shootout. Even for a lot of the penalties, he was like going the right way, but ultimately we just couldn't quite get the penalties. So yeah, all in all, Kepa really didn't have very much to do at all in the game, but to be fair, he did make some good saves in a penalty shootout. And then you had Martin Zubimendi. Of course, this was one that we were all really excited to see play, and yeah, again, I thought he was decent, very, very solid, linked up play really nicely, played a really good double pivot with Declan Rice, very solid defensively, and ultimately created some good opportunities again. Definitely, he was also quite solid from set pieces as well. We know that Zubimendi is definitely quite a decent set piece threat. He linked up really nicely with Marino as well, and that was really good to see. So all in all, yeah, really happy to see the 3 new signings get some game time. It was cool to see them debut, and hopefully later this week, or at least next week, in the Newcastle and Spurs games, we can see both Christian Mosquera and of course the big one, Victor Gyökeres. So hopefully we can see them as well. We know that Madueke won't be joining the tour because obviously he's having a break, and he'll probably join up for the Emirates Stadium games. However, hopefully we can see hopefully we can see both Victor Gyökeres and also Christian Mosquera on the tour. Hopefully for the Newcastle game, but at the very least for the Spurs game next week in Hong Kong. So yeah, that's the new signings. I was really pleased with them. I thought they had good performances, and will hopefully continue that and go on to be good signings. Then of course, let's talk about Ethan Ranieri. Ethan Ranieri was incredible. He was so electric today. He immediately showed us exactly why we made an excellent decision to extend his contract. Obviously, it has been revealed by all the big journalists that Arsenal, have reached a full agreement with Ranieri. He has signed a new contract, and in today's game, we saw exactly why that's such a good thing. This guy's a generational talent. He's so good. Really, really good performance from him. Linked up play brilliantly, made some solid runs. Of course, as I mentioned before, that volley was just disgusting. It was so close. A very good save from the goalkeeper. So as mentioned before, Norgard squares the ball across to him. He spins with the ball and then lashes, completely just smashes in a half volley, which so nearly went in. It was just gorgeous. What a half volley. Absolutely put the laces through it, and it was so good. Like, this guy is just so good. So yeah, absolutely lashed the half volley into the top bins, which drew a very, very good save from the goalkeeper. Fair play to the AC Milan goalkeeper for saving that, because it was a fast shot. But seriously, it was just ridiculous. What a half volley. Not only that, but he had another really good moment where he pretty much spun one of the defenders and then was able to get past another 2. Like, he's just so good, so good at the runs and at linking up play, creating chances, and just creativity. He's such a good creative player, and this just shows exactly why Arsenal prefer him in midfield. I think it's quite clear that they prefer him in midfield. He obviously started in Odegaard's position, and then Odegaard came on in the second half and Ranieri came off. So I think it's quite clear that Arsenal view Ranieri very much as an attacking 8, and to be fair, he even drifted into a 10 position today. So they very much view him as a creative midfielder and not a right winger. End of the day, it's very clear that the right winger thing was out of necessity for Saka's injury, and that's why Madueke has come in. But honestly, I thought Ranieri was absolutely fantastic. He was so good, so creative, so attacking, and ultimately just such a generational talent. And I couldn't be more happy that he extended his contract. And games like today show you exactly why. So that's Ethan Ranieri. Another player that I thought was so good today was actually Ben White. Ben White, I thought, looked brilliant today. I feel like we all forget how good Ben White is, because obviously last season he was racked with injuries and therefore didn't get the game time, and ultimately Yuri and Timber took over that right back position. But let's not forget, like, Yuri and Timber is excellent, don't get me wrong, but let's not forget how good Ben White is, and he showed it today. Really good passing, several good chances. I mean, he's just so attacking. Like, he's such an attacking fullback, and he really just gets so far forward, creates so many opportunities, and that link up with Bukayo Saka is telepathic, honestly. Like, Bukayo Saka and Ben White just have such a telepathic understanding of each other. Like, Saka definitely has a good relationship with Timber as well, and they link up well, but it's nothing compared to the Ben White Saka link up. These two just have an absolutely telepathic understanding of each other, and Ben White created several opportunities for Saka. Saka even created opportunities for Ben White, and it's just so threatening. That right hand side is just so threatening, and we saw it again today. They look brilliant, not to mention Ranieri as well. Like, he looked excellent. So that right hand side was just so lethal today, and it looked really good. So that was brilliant to see, and really good link up play there from Ben White. That was great to see. So yeah, Ben White and Bukayo Saka just looked so good today. Just that link up is so impressive and just looks excellent. Another thing, of course, to talk about is it was actually really good to see some of the youngsters get some game time today. Now, when I say youngsters, I'm not talking about the likes of Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri. I'm talking about like the really young players, you know, Dowman, Nichols, Salmon, etc., the 15 and 16-year-olds, and it was really good to see them get a run around today. It was great to see. Obviously, quite an unfortunate moment for Salmon, as he did go on to miss the penalty, which sucks to see, and obviously you never want to see such a young player miss a penalty. It can obviously knock their confidence, but fair play to him for taking it on. Dowman actually scored his penalty, which was really cool to see, you know, being a 15-year-old and, you know, scoring a penalty with that much confidence. So that was another cool thing about the game, to see some of the youngsters. You know, end of the day, this just shows that Arteta really does believe in the young players and he really trusts them. So it was really good to see, you know, Nichols and, you know, Dowman and Salmon all get game time today and all get minutes. I mean, they're only 15 and 16 years old, so they're so young. Obviously, Dowman is someone who's genuinely being touted as a potential Premier League player next season. Like, a lot of people are saying that potentially he could even play with Arsenal in the Premier League. And once he turns 16, he will be eligible. So it'll be interesting to see. He turns 16 in December, so it'll be really interesting to see if Arsenal decide from January onwards to play Dowman and to give him minutes. That would certainly be very interesting. But that was another really cool part of today, seeing the youngsters all get game time as well. That was really cool. And now let's talk about the actual goal. Bukayo Saka scores off an absolute peach of a Jakub Kiwior assist. Seriously, Jakub Kiwior, I thought he was solid today again. Like, honestly, I'd be really sad if we lose Jakub Kiwior. Like, there has been a lot of talk of him leaving, but honestly, I'd be gutted because he's just so good. He's such a good defender, so amazing. And honestly, what an assist from him. Absolutely just a peach of a ball to Bukayo Saka, who admittedly probably did have slightly good fortune with the finish, but ultimately stayed composed and was able to get the finish over the goalkeeper. And to be fair, Bukayo Saka was so good today, and it's really good to see, because obviously we know Bukayo Saka's progress was a little bit hindered after that injury, that pretty severe hamstring tear back in December against Crystal Palace, and obviously he's been struggling to get back to full fitness, and even towards the end of last season he was having a lot of chances, but unfortunately just not quite up to full fitness. But to be fair, I think he's getting back to his best. He looked electric today. He created loads of opportunities, had loads of chances himself, obviously got the goal to win the game, so that was really good to see. And in my opinion, Bukayo Saka is really starting to get back to his best. We know he's absolutely world class, there's no question about that. Like, to me, there's never been any doubt. Like, Bukayo Saka is a world-class talent, and again, he showed it today. Great goal, really well taken. But aside from that, just really good link-up play again. I feel like that's just a very common theme of today's video, link-up play. But to be fair, it's something that I thought Arsenal did so well today. Just the passing and the football was just really free-flowing. It was really attacking, creative, free-flowing. I know it's only a 1-0 scoreline, but as mentioned before, we did have 9 shots on target and 23 overall, so it's really not a reflective scoreline. But anyway, really good assist from Jakub Kiwior. Great cross, and then Bukayo Saka finishes it off to open the scoring 1-0. He'd had several other opportunities before that and even created a few, so he certainly deserved to get his name on the score sheet today, and I was really pleased that he managed to do so. Really good work from Bukayo Saka to get the goal, and yeah, he looked electric throughout the whole game, and in my opinion, he's really starting to get back to his best following his injury. And of course, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does in the new season. And again, in my opinion, he's going to partner with Noni Madueke so well, and that's going to be a lethal right-wing partnership, so very exciting stuff there. But anyway, that's the goal. Bukayo Saka gets the goal from a Jakub Kiwior assist, so that was really nice to see. I was happy with that. Another thing I was really delighted with Arsenal today is that they were actually taking shots from outside the box. One thing that Arsenal has always been criticised for last season, and rightfully so, I would say, is just the lack of shots from outside the box. You know, they always just seem to not really want to take shots from outside the box, despite obviously that being a good option. But to be fair, today they definitely took a lot more. Reece Nelson took one. I think Trossard took one. Trying to think, I think Rice at one point took one. There was just a lot of them being taken, and that was really good to see. Of course, Ethan Nwaneri, as I mentioned before, with that half volley. So there were a good like 5 or 6 shots from outside the box today, and they were good shots as well for the most part. And that was just really good to see, because it's something that Arsenal has rightfully been criticised for in the past few seasons. It's just the lack of shots from outside the box. So it was really good that the Arsenal players really had some confidence today to attempt shots from outside the box and really make things happen. So that was great to see as well. Definitely something I wanted to remark on. But yeah, honestly, it was just a solid performance. I was really happy with it. Great performance. Won the game 1-0, got the clean sheet, had loads of shots on target and attacking threat. I was really pleased with it. It was good to see. Defensively, obviously Saliba, as always, was top. I mean, it's William Saliba. Of course, he was fantastic. It's William Saliba. Obviously, he was really good. So it was great to see him. And to be fair, he actually did save us a couple of times. There was one moment where Rafa Leao had a one-on-one, but William Saliba was able to catch up with him and dispossess him, and a few other really good blocks. Calafiori I thought looked good as well today. It was nice to see him get a start. Obviously, you know, he's such a good talent. Like, Calafiori is a fantastic talent. He's so attacking. He's really good defensively, but Obviously, the availability was an issue last season. There were a lot of injuries. I think in total he suffered from about 5 or 6 different injuries from both Arsenal and also the Italian national team. But listen, when he plays, he's really good. I'm just going to say that. I think he's so good when he plays, and today he was fantastic again. Really good attacking threat, very nearly scored, and also again just very good defensively. So nice to see Calafiori playing as well. Miles Lewis-Skelly of course coming on as well. So it will continue to be Ricardo Calafiori versus Miles Lewis-Skelly for the left back position, which I think puts us in very, very good stead. I mean, they're really good left backs. Obviously right back we're also at good stead. In terms of the defensive depth, we just have so much of it. Left back there's Calafiori and Miles Lewis-Skelly. Right back there's obviously Timber and White, and to be fair, Mosquera can play there as well. Centre back we got Gabriel, we got Saliba, we got Mosquera, we got Kivior. Like the defensive depth for Arsenal is absolutely off the charts, and we saw it again today. Really, really good defensive performance. Limited AC Milan to just 3 shots total and only 1 shot on target. So obviously that's really, really elite defensive numbers right there. So that was good to see. But yeah, the defenders I thought did really well. Calafiori, Saliba. It's fair, Zinchenko also came on, and in fairness, Zinchenko did have a bit of a shaky start, but to be fair, again, like Norgard, he managed to grow into the game, and eventually he got a bit better. But I will say that definitely Zinchenko did have a little bit of a shaky start to begin with, but definitely started to look a lot better. But yeah, all in all, I could go on for ages. End of the day, there were so many players that played today because that's how friendlies always go. You have tons of substitutions. So we'll go on and quickly talk about the penalty shootout. So as mentioned before, unfortunately, Arsenal did not win it. There were some misses. It was actually a crazy penalty shootout because I think in the end, there were like 18 or 19 penalties. There were like 6 goalkeeper saves. It was crazy. So yeah, that was absolutely mental. I think there were like, a total of about 18, 19 penalties. Really long penalty shootouts. Kepa, as I said before, while he didn't have much to do in the game, he certainly made some really good saves in the penalty shootout, so that's good to see as well. But ultimately there's just not much to say on it. It's unfortunate, obviously a very unfortunate moment for Salmon to miss the penalty in that fashion, but end of the day, he's only 15 years old. He'll learn from this, and it's unfortunate. It was quite unfortunate to see Martin Odegaard miss a penalty as well. That was definitely not expected. Obviously we know that he missed a very crucial one against Man United last season, so I'm hoping that Martin Odegaard does not continue with penalty struggles, because end of the day he is the captain and we do want to be relying on him for penalties whenever he takes them. But no stress, end of the day it is just pre-season. We saw some other good penalties, to be fair. So yeah, not really much to say. End of the day, fair play to AC Milan for getting the penalty win. And again, the goalkeeper was absolutely ridiculous. That second goalkeeper, I'm trying to remember his name now, but I'm going to quickly just check. I think Torriani was his name. Let me just quickly look it up. Sorry guys. I did look it up before the podcast, but unfortunately I just don't quite remember. So I think it's Torriani, I believe. I'm just going to quickly check. So 1 second. Sorry. Yeah, Lorenzo Torriani, that's it. Lorenzo Torriani, that is the guy, that's it right there. Sorry that I'd forgotten that. But yeah, Lorenzo Torriani, I thought he was ridiculous for AC Milan. He was so good. I mean, he came on around like the 66th minute and he just made save after save after save, kept a clean sheet, because remember, when he came on, we didn't score again, made like 3 or 4 penalty saves. He was brilliant. So fair play to him. He's AC Milan definitely have a bit of a gem on their hands on that front. But yeah, ultimately it is what it is. Would have been nice to win the penalty shootout, but ultimately what's important is that we won the game, which is brilliant. So that was obviously great to see. In terms of some of my star performers today, obviously Bukayo Saka with the goal and just generally looking really electric. Jakub Kiwior, great assist and looked solid when he came on. William Saliba, fantastic defensively and saved us on a few occasions after mistakes. I'm trying to think who else was really... Reece Nelson, we haven't even mentioned Reece Nelson yet. Reece Nelson I thought was really good today. Came on around like the 70th or so minute and again looked really threatening, created several opportunities, had some really good shots, including a really, really good curler from outside the box that very nearly went in. So Reece Nelson looked really good as well today. Ben White, of course, as mentioned before, he was really good. And then finally we've got Kepa. Obviously Kepa in the penalty shootout I thought was really, really good as well. Obviously I know Kepa didn't really have much to do in the game itself, but ultimately in the penalty shootout he did make some great saves, so I feel like he deserves a mention in the star performers role. And then of course Jakub Kiwior obviously with the brilliant assist. I think I already said Jakub Kiwior, sorry, I think I actually did already say him, just trying to check if I missed anyone else. So yeah, Nwaneri of course, yeah, sorry. So I have a list here, so Saka, Nwaneri, White, Nelson, Saliba and Kiwior, they for me were the star performers. They're the ones who stood out the most for me. But anyway, I feel like I could go on forever. End of the day, there's just so many different things to talk about because there's so many different players that play these games as a result of all the substitutions. But I'm going to go on and end it there. So really, really enjoyed filming this podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great day. Thank you all for the support recently. I'm really looking forward to bringing you guys back with Arsenal football content. And of course, Arsenal football is back. We've got Newcastle, I think, on the weekend and then Tottenham next week. And then after that, so really, really looking forward to Arsenal being back. And I'm really looking forward to continuing to bring you guys content. So thank you guys so much for listening. Have a a great day. I really appreciate all the support. Hopefully in the next game we can see Christian Mosquera and Victor Gyökeres. But anyway, please let me know down below what you thought of today's game, who impressed you the most, and ultimately who do you think will have really good world-class seasons at Arsenal. And I'll catch you guys at another podcast soon. Bye bye.